hear you sing. I don't know if you know anything about me, but I'm an associate professor of voice and director of graduate studies in music at Boston University, where I'm just finishing up my 9th year. And I would be remiss if my publisher would get angry if I didn't do a shameless plug for my recent book. So here it is, A Singer's Epiphany, Faith, Music, and Mortality. You can find it on my website or on GIA's website or somewhere else. Shameless book plug is done. Let's have a singer. Let's get rolling here.
All right, I believe we're starting with Antoin today.
Hello, everyone. I'm Antoin Marshall, and I'll be singing on Chloe by Mozart.
Antoine, would you mind just telling me a little bit about yourself, about who you are and where you are in your studies?
Okay, sure. I am originally from Jamaica, but I am now studying in Mississippi at Alcorn State University.
Great.
I am a junior, and I just did my junior recital on Tuesday.
Oh, nice. What else was on it?
Well, I had a few songs from the 24 Italian arias book. I had 3 Mozarts. I did an aria from Jonah by Samuel Felstead called Out of the Deep.
Oh, wow. That sounds
and,
cool.
I did a couple spirituals to close.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for giving me a little intro. Let's have the Mozart. I'm going to mute myself while you're singing just so you'll sound clearer on my end.
Okay. Wenn die Lieb aus deinen blauen, hellen, offenen Augen sieht und vor Lust hineinzuschauen, mir's im Herzen klopft und glüht. Und ich halte dich und küsse deine Rosenwangen warm. Liebes Mädchen, und ich schließe zitternd dich in meinen Arm, in meinen Arm, in meinen Arm. Mädchen, Mädchen, und ich drücke dich an meinen Busen fest. Letzten Augenblicke, sterbend, sterbend nur, dich von sich lässt. Den berauschten Blick umschattet eine düstere Wolke mir, eine düstere Wolke mir. Und ich sitze dann ermattet, 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 abselig neben dir. Ermattet, 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 abselig neben dir, abselig neben dir, abselig neben dir, neben dir, neben dir.
Well done. Thank you so much for singing for me, and for all of us. Yeah, I see some applauses on people's screens. Really nicely done. This is one of my very, very favorite songs, and so I'm so happy that you're singing it. What a beautiful instrument you have. I really, really love the color of your voice. It's really beautiful. It's really unique to you, which I love. I loved when you were able to be more, more in the song, and you have a beautiful radiance about you that comes, flying over the computer internet waves, which is, I can't even imagine how magnetic your presence is in real life, because if you're able to get that across in this setting, then bravo to you.
Thank you.
Talk to me about what you love about the way you're singing this song, and what is difficult for you about it.
Well, one of the things that is difficult, I think, for me is the fact that my voice is not necessarily as light. So this song has me technically moving through the passages as small as I can be, because I can't just blast as though it would have been
Right.
Wagner or Verdi. This is Mozart, so I have to keep it to the style. So it forces me and challenges me in an awkward way, but I think I like it. That's why I chose this song, so I could get more expertise on the song. What I enjoy about the piece is that it moves.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily stay stagnant. And there's some fun little things that you're able to do with the piece in terms of the appoggiatura. So you lean in on the music, you take and you give back. So those are the fun things that I enjoy.
Yeah, I love everything you just said. And your voice, it's not, you're right, it's not super light, but I think that people think, well, you can't sing this repertoire of your voices, and you're absolutely right that you should be singing it. I think everyone needs to sing. Voices of all sizes sing Mozart, and if you go to any Mozart opera in a real size house, those people are putting out some serious sound. They just are. If you go to the Met and you hear any Mozart opera, that these are not light, as we think of voices. So I think, but I think you're doing a great job. I think that I'd love to hear you breathing more proactively. I'd love to feel like you are breathing into the space in which you're going to sing all the time. I feel like sometimes you're not doing that. I mean, the whole intro played and you waited till the last possible second to take in a breath, which is something that my students do too. So you had all that time. My teacher, Richard Croft, who's a very well-known Mozart tenor, actually, he would always say, there's plenty of time to breathe at the beginning of the piece. And if you don't take that, that's on you, is what he would say to me, which is totally true. So I think, you can get yourself into that space where you want to be much sooner. So I'd like to do a couple of things. I'd like to start it again and see if really breathing and really taking in that space at the beginning helps things for you. And then I want to do the end again too, because I think I think at the top you could close those vowels more. And when I say close, I don't mean close your whole voice down. I mean close the vowel so that this stays open on the inside. I have 3 nephews and they all love everything Star Wars and always did. And they love to make that Darth Vader noise. Can you make that noise for me? Yeah, but just for fun, try to make that same Darth Vader noise without rounding your lips at all. Yeah, you can't really do it. Like you can get something kind of close, but you can't, you're going to end up kind of in the throat. And so at the top, when you're seeing those abbas at the end, if you go abba, it's really hard to lift that soft palate in the back. So which is where you need it the most on top. So I think if you close that vowel a little more, abba, and you had more of a rounded position for that, that might be easier. So we'll cut over to that in a second. Let's start the song again and see if you can start breathing much sooner if you can.
Okay. Wenn die Lieb aus deinen blauen, hellen, offenen Augen sieht und vor Lust hineinzuschauen, mir's im Herzen klopft und glüht.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. That I thought you still could have breathed earlier, but it was better. It didn't feel so, I understand that with these tracks, it's such a nightmare. Like my students, I find them waiting instead of breathing in between phrases, sort of waiting and trying to align themselves with the track instead of actually breathing. And like, we don't care if you're with the track. I really don't care. I'd much rather you sing, you can always find the track later in the song. If it gets off a little bit, I'm always good with that. because you don't want to develop weird habits right now during this pandemic when we're trying to deal with this online thing. You don't want to develop the habit of not really breathing and not really going for it. I thought a lot of that was better. I think one last thing I'm gonna do with the first line on the wenn die Lieb aus deinen blauen. If you really bowed into that blauen, hellen, offenen Augen sieht. Like if you really let those words bow, those high notes would come out a little easier. So you weren't thinking about blauen, but blauen, hellen. It's just kind of one thing that you're doing, right? And blauen and hellen and offenen, what do these words mean?
Well, blauen is blue. Offenen would be open, and hellen would be bright.
Yeah, so these are all really interesting, colorful words. And so you have opportunities to use your voice to paint those colors about what you think about that person and how that's different for you on blauen and hellen and offenen. Like there's such tasty words. Let's do the beginning one more time, and then I promise we'll cut over to the end.
Wenn die Lieb aus deinen blauen, hellen, offenen Augen sieht und vor Lust hinein zu...
Hold on, I lost your picture, Antoine. Oh, I got you back. Something came back. Good. Now, when I say breathe early, I don't mean to hold and then just not use your breath. We want you to really go ahead and use that breath right away. I'm still not, I've lost your video.
One moment, please.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, that's totally fine. Yeah, so when you breathe, you're like a tennis player, they wind up and then they go. They don't wind up and then kind of like, maybe I'll stroke my air. So when you breathe in early, then go ahead and sing. Like don't feel like because it's Mozart that you're not going to use your instrument and not going to use that breath that you took in. I said that was the last time, but it's not. So we're going to do the first line one more time.
Okay.
Get excited while you're listening to this beginning of this person. Now get excited.
Wenn die Lieb aus deinen blauen, hellen, offenen Augen sieht und vor Lust hineinzuschauen, mir sie im Herzen klopft und glüht.
That's great. Thank you so much. I'm seeing a little more personality, which is great because this song is so cute. Wenn die Lieb. So you really want to hear that voiced consonant. I'm hearing a little bit of wenn die instead of wenn die Lieb. Can you just sing that first word for me? Wenn. Good. Give me like an exaggerated voice to be. Yeah, you feel how that's going to be. There we go. So you're gonna have real tone right from the beginning. All right, let's cut over to, and you don't worry about the track. I don't care if you line up with that. Okay, so we're just gonna go from. Let's do the last page. So what you say it's dann ermattet. So ermattet. And what does ermattet mean?
Ermattet describes somebody who is exhausted or tired. Yeah,
and just kind of like discombobulated. You're just kind of, you're just sitting there like this person is like, so, oh my God, I'm dizzy practically with this. And then you say, but I'm so happy because I'm near you. So, the all important word, but. I was saying one thing, but now I'm saying something else. We want to make sure but is important. All right, here we go without the track.
Und ich sitze dann ermattet.
Okay, good. So sorry, Antoine. So in Mozart, you always want to lead to the end of the phrase. So if we're hanging out, und ich sitze dann ermattet, that's kind of not going anywhere. So we want to think, und ich sitze dann ermattet. So you're going all the way through that.
All the way to the end. Okay.
Yeah, so getting excited, all these diddy. Because Mozart, he was a spicy kind of guy, There's nothing sort of staid about Mozart. Here we go.
Und ich sitze dann ermattet,
What?
ermattet.
But keep going.
Aber seh ich neben dir. Ermattet,
Oh,
ermattet, ermattet.
but
Aber seh ich neben dir. You had asked me to
yes.
make that a little more closed in the front.
Yes. So
Could you repeat that, please?
Yeah, sure. Let's take some hands. You're just gonna put your hands like this for me. So we're gonna do your last I'm looking at them. Aber seh ich neben dir. I'm not going but just staying in that more closed spot right there. So just keep
Okay.
your hands here so you just don't go wide. That's all
Okay.
I'm asking for. So you're gonna do your from your where I started.
Okay. Aber, right there?
Yeah. And let's make sure, look at where my elbows are. There we go.
Aber seh ich neben dir. Aber seh ich neben dir. Aber seh
Okay.
ich.
What? So I wouldn't try to do a glottal on that aber because it's too high. Like I just wouldn't even try to do that. Can you?
Okay.
Can you? Since your voice is my playground, would you try singing for me? And this may not work, but like I said, your voice is my playground. When you get on this aber, we can just start at it because you have to anyway. That line before was better, and going up to the E flat was better because you stayed. Did you feel that as a little more lined up?
Yes, it was a little more lined up for it.
Yeah, because you weren't sort of target shooting. You kept things in a good line. Now, just for fun, will you start on that aber? And will you change that vowel to an O for me? No glottal, and we're gonna sing O. And then, going all the way to O might be too much, but let's see what happens.
Oh. Ah! Woo! Sorry. Aber seh ich neben dir.
Okay.
Aber
That was
seh
better.
ich neben dir.
Second one was better because you rounded, but not so much. So what you have to do at the top there is figure out how much you need to adjust, because right now you're not adjusting at all. You're just kind of going and your is like super open. I think up there you've got to do some adjusting. Now going all the way to O might be just way too much for you. So let's try one more thing. And then I'll let you off the hook here because you're doing a beautiful job. Let's sing. Let's try. You're going to sing but your lips are going to round more like like O. So, and let's practice down the octave. So you're just going to go. Just do it. Yeah, you gotta be ready, right? You've got to be ready. So when you breathe in, you're not just going to start and cross your fingers and hope for the best. You're going to breathe in. Right. Make space. So we're going to go. That's it. Okay, now up at the top. So make that space when you breathe in, and then be that tennis player. Keep going. One more time. Yeah, so that's a step in the right direction on that. So I think it's just the top. You just want to think about modifying vowels a little bit more up there than you are. Does it feel a little less crazy up there with a little bit?
It does.
Yeah. So this is something that we would spend. If you ever it's my student, which I would love, by the way. We would spend a lot of time working on that. Like that's this is kind of a quick thing I'm throwing at you, but I think that's the key to some of those spots. Beautiful work, Antoine. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was a lovely way to start the class.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Antoine. I believe our next speaker is going to be Holly.
Hi.
Hi, Holly.
I'm Holly Connor. I am 16 years old and I live in St. Louis. I train at Opera Theater St. Louis and Seattle Opera. And in my free time, I sing and I do musical theater. I play piano, and I dance. That's
Great.
one of my hobbies. And I'm going to sing My Heart is Like a Singing Bird by C. Hubert H. Peary. I chose this because I'm going to perform this song live at Opera Theater St. Louis. My coaches were the ones that chose this song for me.
Okay, fantastic.
My heart is like a singing bird whose nest is in a watered shoot. My heart is like an apple tree whose boughs are bent with thick set fruit. My heart is like a rainbow shell that paddles in a purple sea. My heart is gladder than all these because my love is come to me. Raise me a days of purple and gold, hang it with vair and purple dyes, carve it in doves and pomegranates and peacocks with 100 eyes, work it in gold and silver grapes, in leaves and silver threaded leaves, because the birthday of my life is come. My love is come to me.
That was beautiful, Holly. Really beautiful. It's so nice to hear you.
Thank you.
What a beautiful sound. This song, when Katie sent me the list earlier today, I didn't know this song, so I looked it up on YouTube and listened to a couple of people singing it through. And your version is beautiful. I'm really pleased to know this song and to hear you sing it. It's really a treat. Talk to me about how you feel about your performance about this song. What do you love about it, and what can I help you with today?
Well, I feel good about what the words I like actually mean. In a sense, it talks about how my love has come to me. I feel like I have a lot of breath support when I do this song, you see. Yeah, and I'm trying to keep my mouth open.
Okay. What's tricky about this song for you? Are there spots that you find difficult?
I need to work on expression.
Expression, it's I'm smiling because that was the last thing that came to me in my own studies as a singer. It was very hard for me to express things or to get what was in my heart and my head out of myself and out to where people were. That can be very tricky. um, I think that I think you're singing it really beautifully, and I don't feel like you're not being expressive. I really feel like it's in the music, the way that you're expressing things. I think um, where I would probably start with you in terms of feeling just like you're more like you're breathing a little bit more and you're being a little bit more full on Holly expressive is maybe in these high notes, if you can enjoy those more, because you have beautiful top, and I think I'm not always feeling like you're enjoying that as much, and if you don't enjoy it, we don't enjoy it. We're a little bit cheated of the enjoyment as well. Do you like singing high notes? Is it fun for you?
Yeah, it's fun.
What do you like about it? What's the most fun thing about singing a high note?
It makes me go full out, like sing full out.
Yeah, there's something just really special about it. My mom asked me once, Holly, she asked me what it was like to sing. My mom's not a singer at all. She asked me what it was like to sing high notes and to be able to do that. And I had a really hard time explaining it to her. But if you don't know, there's a beautiful book by Willa Cather called Song of the Lark. If you don't know this book, you should find it and read it, because it's about a woman who becomes an opera singer in the book, and it's really about Willa Cather being an author and feeling like she wanted, getting her work out there. But it's a really interesting book, and I highly recommend it to you. Um, let's start it again, and I think similar to Antoine, I think you could start breathing a little bit sooner. I think you could breathe a little bit bigger than you are. um, so when you're breathing, just think about two things. You're thinking about making the space in which you plan to sing, so you're breathing into your head space. Yeah, that's a great breath that you just took right there. I'd love to see that every time. And you're also, the other piece of this, and this is part of how you will find more expression, breathing with the intention of what you're going to say. So you're breathing already with the idea of what that first line means.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. So let's start it again. I'll let you go a few lines in, and just play with that. Every time you breathe in, I want you to breathe in full on like that, and with the idea of what is next. And you know the song well, so I know that you'll be able to think about what's next.
Okay. My heart is like a singing bird whose nest is in a watered shoot.
That's very beautiful. Let's start that one more time. So I love that. Can you get more excited about that? I'm not looking at the music because I don't have it, but my heart is like a singing. You could get a little more, you could crescendo a little bit, just get a little more excited about that high note.
Okay.
You're doing beautifully. Let's do that again.
Thanks. My heart is like a singing bird whose nest is in a watered shoot.
That's beautiful. And you could do it again. On that line is beautiful on up to singing bird, and you fixed the syllabification that I messed up just now. So good for you. And then the next line, when you go up again on the, I'm not looking at it. So I think on water, I think it is
Yeah,
on
it's
the
a watered
on the
shoot.
F.
Yeah.
Yeah, so going up to the F, you want to be like, you could just, so every time you go up, so we're going to start it, and I'm gonna let you go a little bit further in the song. So keep breathing and keep thinking. So it's two things: breathing with intention and sending air up to those high notes, like just letting those be, just giving yourself over to them a little bit more. So if you accomplish that by crescendoing, or just thinking about the air moving faster, or even just getting a little more excited about it, whatever works for you.
Okay. My heart is like a singing bird whose nest is in a watered shoot.
Great.
My heart is like an apple tree whose boughs are bent with thick set fruit. My heart is like a rainbow shell that paddles in a purple sea. My heart is gladder than all these, because my love is come to me.
Good. Let's stop there for a second. That's beautiful, Holly. How does that feel?
Good.
Does it feel different than the first time?
Yeah, it feels totally different.
How so?
I'm starting to show some excitement in my voice whenever I sing a high note.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to get excited about it because it's a great privilege to get to sing these pieces and sing these high notes, you know. Um, and yeah, if you getting excited about it is sometimes all you need to do because like I don't have a ton to say to you technically because I feel like you're really and if you do, my students are if they could see this right now, they'd be like, oh my God, really? She doesn't have a lot to say because usually I have tons to say. But I love how you're singing. I think you just need to be just a little bit more, you know, it's just a little more what you're already doing. And that time I felt like you really thought about every time you went up, it was something special and the air carried you through. So it didn't get tight at all. And it kept the just kept the expression going. One of my friends in New York, he says they're not high notes, they're expressions. And I think I kind of like that because the composer could have written something that wasn't a high note there, but you know, they wrote a high note. Um, one more idea I want to throw at you. There's a place where you sing "My Heart." I think it's a G, where you go "My
Yeah.
heart." Like, oh, so if you can be thinking while you go through that you're not holding. So this is the other just concept I want to throw at you, so that you're not holding any high notes. So just ban that word from your vocabulary. You're not sustaining or holding or supporting or any of those words that are just like, oh, where you're just stuck. You are flowing through, you are bowing through the space, your space is moving. So while I'm singing high G up on that G, I'm not thinking that just parking on the G. I'm not thinking, my heart. I'm thinking that really something inside where my space is going, my heart. Or I'm really just like stretching and rounding and like going through that, even though I'm not going to wander off the pitch. I don't want you to wander off the pitch, but make space for that. So you're going up and out on that high note. Can we start there with maybe without the track? Do you know the spot I'm talking about?
Yeah, my heart. Okay.
Yeah.
My heart is gladder than all these.
Good. Let's do it one more time. So let's think. So the note before the high note can be a little kissier. So your lips are a little more together so that your high note can go all the way back up into your high space. So
Okay.
so they're really kind of in two different spots. So you're not thinking about going, my heart, but my heart, my heart. So
My heart. Okay.
yeah, so you're really in the mouth on the my and you're really much more in your head on the heart. Here we go.
My heart is gladder than all these.
That's fantastic. Does that feel different to you?
Yes.
That was beautiful. That G feels really free to me. So,
Right?
so that's something I think you could work on, just moving the space around a little bit more, you know, so that you're not trying to just hold on to one spot. You want to, this way you can go up to those high notes and set up a space that is different, a little different. So you can bow through like you just did.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
That was lovely. Can we don't have a ton of time left. Is there a way to find in the track the second verse and just sing the second verse for me?
Sure. Let me have this.
Tracks. I can't wait to never have to do a video track ever again.
Yeah. Raise me, O dear, some purple and gold, hang it with variant purple dyes, carve it in dye.
that you incorporated a lot of things that we just talked about, which is great. So can we just do, I want to throw one more idea at you because you're doing so well. This octave on my life, is that what you're saying?
My love. My love.
Okay, my love. So first of all, let's not sing an vowel. It's really going to be ah up there because otherwise it's going to end up pulling your palate down. So let's change that a little bit more to ah. So I'm not going to go my love, my love.
Okay.
And it's going to make it go out. So this is the concept I want to throw at you. Up before you go down. So when you're coming out of the A to go to the next note, you're going to curve up and around. So we're not going to just fall off that high note. We're not going to do this. My love. We're not going to do that, but my love. See how, yeah, you could probably hear how I went up a little bit before I came down.
Yeah.
Can you hear that? I hope I didn't break up the microphone too much.
No, I can hear it. Yeah.
Great. So without the track, let's just do that. So don't forget, you're doing your my is kissy. So my, and then life is in that totally, love is in that different spot.
Okay. My love is calm.
Great. And I got a really nice thing from the my, and the love went into a good spot. Now you've got to turn it around because you went my love, and then going from the A to the G. Think about it as coming around the front of your head. So you're not staying back there. We're not going to just kind of fall down. We're losing a little bit of pitch between the A and the G, just a tiny bit. I'm hearing this. My love. It's doing that instead of my love. I have to turn it around and keep going out the front, out to where your audience is.
Okay.
Does this make sense? So you're going to use the air to do it. So you're blowing air and you're just blowing air and you're corralling it out. My very fancy word for this is banana. So if there was a banana on top of your head with the tips kind of like where your nose is, and the banana's sitting there, and you're blowing air over the top of that banana. So it's going out, up and over your head, out into your audience. Can you picture that? Are you able to picture banana in your head? Great. Let's do it. My love.
My love is calm.
Yes.
To me.
That's the idea. Yeah, that stayed up and not tight in any way, which I thought was really lovely. And then when you got to the word come, you were in a better spot too, because it hadn't come down so much.
Right.
Yeah, so you could on that word come, that's also going to be more of an ah vowel, so you're not going to fall down on come, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're doing great. Any questions, problems before
Nope.
we move on?
Nope.
Beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful work. Really
Thank you.
beautiful. So nice to hear you, Holly.
Holly. That was amazing.
You're welcome.
Lovely voice. Okay, and our last singer I think we have is Justin.
I'm really spoiled by these singers today. I'm telling you what.
Can you guys hear me by any chance? Or
I can hear you. Yes.
okay, perfect. How are you guys?
Great. How are you?
Good. Thank you for asking.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, Justin, before I jump in.
Yeah, totally. So my name is Justin Ingui. I just turned 17, and I'm a junior in high school, and I study at LaGuardia High School. And
fantastic. Yeah. Okay, great. Let's have it. You're singing Amarili, is that right?
Yes, I am. Yes,
fantastic. I'm going to mute myself while you sing.
Okay. Amarilli, mia bella, non cretio te mio cor, te Teresio, te sed tu, amor mio. Creti locur, esseti morta sale. Dubitar non ti vale, apri il petto e vece scritto in cuore. Amarili, 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 ei mio amore. Gratilo pur, se ti porta sale. Dubitar non ti vale. Apri il petto e vece scritto in cuore. Amarili, 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 ei mio amore. Amarili, ei mio amore.
Bravo, so nice to hear you. I have to say, all three of you singers, Antoine, Holly, and Justin, all three of you, I hope you will all seriously consider applying to Boston University because we would love to have all three of you. Please do consider us, and that is the point of why we're here today, College Expo. So I will leave a little bit of time just at the very end in case you guys have questions about our program or about my studio or anything else. Lovely to hear you. I think I love your tone. It's really, really pretty. And you clearly know what you're singing about. You're clearly passionate about what you're singing, which is great. I think that I think I'd love to have a little more rounding of the vowels too. It's a little bit kind of out here and and
Yeah.
there's not quite enough head voice happening in some of these vowels. And I think that has to do with, the O vowel, like your O vowel is kind of on vacation tonight. Like we're not hearing the O vowel.
Oh, okay.
I'm hearing all kinds of other vowels, but the O vowel is just, it's missing in action. So we get that, even if sometimes it's just about one vowel. If you can get one vowel to round a little bit more, it changes everything for everything. I think also that you, like a lot of young singers, and I do this myself and I'm no longer young, but we pull things forward and overly forward because we can hear it better when that's the case. And that's one of my teachers in New York with her fantastic New York accent, which I loved because I grew up on Long Island, New York. So she would say, you don't get to hear it, you get to have the experience of doing it, which was completely true. So so I want to try something with you from the very beginning. We're going to take your hands. See how my pinkies are halfway on my face, and everyone in the room, you can feel free to try this at some point in your practice. Put your thumbs so it's not flat on. Your thumbs are going to be like a little towards the screen. And not that way, this thumbs towards me.
Oh, okay.
A little bit. That's it. So we're going to start it again. Are you running the track yourself or is someone else doing it for you?
No, I'm doing it myself.
Okay, so will you quickly turn the track on and then put your hand, or actually we can do it without the track too. That's fine.
Okay.
I don't care about that. So are you in G minor or F minor?
I'm in F minor.
F minor. So yeah, I played the G minor. I'm like, that's not the key that he did. I'm cursed with perfect pitch, unfortunately. So all right, here we go. So hands up on your face, and we're gonna so take in a good breath. You were watching, I hope, when I worked with Antoine about getting that nice breath going. Here we go.
Amarili mia bella, non credio da mio cor, da Genesio.
Okay, stop for a second. Talk to me about that. Does that feel weird to you?
Which part?
All of it.
Oh, all of it? No, it actually feels somewhat weird, but I definitely see what you're saying. It's less hard on my throat than what I was doing before.
Yeah. Because every singer I've ever done this with lifts the soft palate more because you can just hear that it's not up, and you start doing that. Now, if I could live without some of the choreography that you have going on here. So let's see if we can keep it a little bit more like you're going to be stable here. I still want an O vowel. I know you've got an O vowel in there, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
say this for me. Oh no, you don't.
Oh no, you don't.
Okay, let's try. Hands down for a second.
Okay.
Oh no, you don't.
Oh no, you don't.
Yeah, so with a full-on diphthong and everything. Oh no, you don't.
Oh no, you don't.
That's it. So when you say dolce,
Dolce.
okay, so you already got a little more shallow though, right? So like a minute ago, you really did. Oh no, and like just and then you went dolce. And when you're singing, you're kind of going dolce. So I really want something that's more dolce.
Dolce.
Non credi, non credi. So if
Non
we can get these O vowels in there, that it all will be. Sorry, my phone's annoying me. All right, let's do this again. So with your hands like this, and keep everything stable. Good breath into your nice in your head space. You're gonna lift your soft palate when you breathe in. Oh, here we go.
Amarilli.
I have to stop you for a second because that first note was so much different.
Oh, okay.
What does that feel like to you?
So much better. Like I don't feel like I'm pushing on myself. Like that's one issue that I've definitely had. And it feels a lot better.
That sounded great. It's really hard to start, first of all, with no consonant. You're starting on a vowel and you're starting on the hardest vowel there is, which is ah, which is it's really hard. And so, because there's so many ways to sing ah wrong that, some of the other vowels have a lot fewer wrong options, but ah has just so many. That was so much better. You breathe into your space. And you trusted the air, and because you had space and air going, you didn't have to grab on, or I always say to people, if you don't breathe at all, if you didn't breathe right, you're going to be in what I call FEMA duct tape mode, trying to sing however you can, which is what you were trying to do before. So you have to have a plan. Technique is about having a plan for what you're going to do. So let's do that one more time. I love that your body was more stable too, and you really just trusted the space in the air. And make sure your thumbs are still towards me. I've had people do this and be like, "That's what you did, Dr. E, right?" I'm like, "No, that's not," because it's so uncomfortable to hear your voice in a different way. I used to tour with a little company in North Carolina, and we would go into classrooms and talk to the kids and elementary school kids, and they would ask us, "Well, if you're professional singers, how come you still take voice lessons?" And we would say, "Have you ever heard your speaking voice on recording?" "Yes." "Did it sound like you thought it sounded?" "No." And we were like, that right there is why. So this is just a little bit of a way to trick you into hearing it more the way we hear it. So that, because it's a head game about being a singer, that you can't ever hear it while you're doing it. You have to trust all the crazy voice teachers like me who are telling you what to do. All right, so let's try it again. So take a really nice good breath. Ah, Marie. Here we go.
Amarilli, mia bella, non
No,
No.
non cre.
No,
There are no nuns in this song. No nuns in this song, Justin. Non. Here we go. Right on non. That Amarilli was beautiful. Keep it, cut, print, do it like that every time. Non cre.
non cretio del mio cor.
Cor. So cor, not car or car. Cor. Non credo. Let's get your hand. I'm using your hands a lot today. Non credo del mio cor. Get your hand
Non
going.
credo del mio cor.
Good. Dolce desio.
Dolce desio.
Dolce desio.
Dolce desio.
Yeah, you're in New York. You can do better than that.
Right.
Dolce desio.
Dolce desio.
Yeah, so there's like a flow in the language, right? It tastes different. Then it's not like dolce desio, which is how we would say it in English. Dolce desio. The Italians are dramatic, right? So dolce desio. I find it helps to have my hand out here like that.
Dolce desio.
That's great. Let's go from non credo del mio cor.
Non credo del mio cor. Dolce desio.
Oh, desio, dolce desio, not desia, which means something different, right? That was better on dolce. Did you feel that starting to stabilize?
Totally.
Yeah, This is the key to this whole thing for you. If you could even just get your O vowels all the way around and really take a nice breath, that will change the whole song for you. But can we just do your nice dolce de zio? You're gonna end up nice and round. Dolce de zio. Here we go. Let's try your hands like this. I'm changing your hand position a little bit.
Dolce desio, desert tu, l'amor mio.
Oh my gosh, your O vowel has made an entrance into the class. Welcome. That's your O vowel, Justin. Make friends with it. Welcome it to your party because your whole voice will line up better if you can bring that vowel more together. Do you have
Sure.
questions for me about what we just did?
No, I mean that was a definite change. Like that was definitely a change. Like a really good change.
Oh, excellent. So, and talking you through the end, when you get to the end, sorry, I keep going in the wrong key. Amari. So the same concept is going to be, so your eval, it's going to have to a little bit more. And by the time you get to the ending, which is so tricky, right?
Yeah.
Amari. I have to kind of get a little bit more rounded with that. Can we just do that last Amari?
Okay, with the hands or without the hands?
No, let's leave them out.
Okay.
Stop. But I didn't say you didn't have to breathe. You still have to breathe, my friend. Here we go. Breathe with good space. Hello, yes. That was totally different than the first time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so that modification of vowels modification is just if you need it, and something you need it there. So everybody needs it there. Caccini, beautiful E vowel and high note. Thank you, no thank you. So you want to change it a little bit and get it a little bit more like U. So which I still heard that as an E. You didn't change it. You just rounded your lips a little bit,
right.
and it popped in your palate popped up. Think about when you yawn at that very highest point of the yawn. Ooh, and your lips round. Otherwise, you would choke, right? So that's the thing. You get all the way to the end. Yeah, I mean, it's the end of the day, right? So you get to the end of that. Sometimes at the top you need to round a little bit. Now it is to keep the palate up. It's not just to go like and pull everything down. We're not talking about doing that. Will you sing for me? And this is our last. Let's do that whole last section from the Marie, Marie, and you're going to round a little bit more as you're going up to the top. Here you go.
Yeah, with the track or without the track?
I don't either way. If it's easier to just do it, let's do it without the track. We don't need it.
Okay.
We know how it goes.
Okay.
Here we go.
Amarili è il mio amore. Amarili è il mio amore.
Stop. Hey, mi amamo. Oh, let's just kick out the party for a second. Thank you. Hey, mi amor. Here we go. Hey.
Hey, mi amor.
Okay, so here's the last idea. So when you go up, remember I said you have to round more as you go up. So if you're going more, it's not going to stay there. So I have to more to keep making that O vowel. Here we go.
Hey, mi amor.
Gorgeous. And then look at that. You made it with no problem because it was more efficient.
Totally.
Yeah, that's a big change. Listen to you. That was fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm so glad to work with all three of these lovely singers. So we have like 5 minutes. If anyone has a question about BU or about my studio or anything we talked about today, I'm happy to answer questions.
Yeah, if you have any questions, you can put in the chat. You can just unmute. Anything is open about Lynn or about Boston University, any of those things. Yeah, go ahead, Justin.
I can't hear you for some reason. There you go. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, now, okay, perfect,
Got it.
perfect. So for the audition process, what are the requirements in terms? Yeah.
I believe it's 3 pieces. I mean, it's on our website. And I think it's pretty easy to find, but it's 3 pieces. I think one has to be in English. I think that's basically the rule.
Okay.
My advice, I will say something about pre-screening recordings. In an age where we get so many of these, I would love to tell you that I listen to every single note of everybody's piece, everyone's entire list of pieces. That's not how it goes, because they're due December 1st. We have till December 15th to turn them around. We usually have about 300 or more
Right.
in the pile. So, do the math. It gets a little tricky.
Right.
So, so my advice to you is, and this is true for anything you send it to, the first line of every piece in your package should be, number 1, in tune, and number 2, sound good. It sounds so obvious, but we sometimes don't have time. If that first line is really in tune and really sounds good, so much of the time I just go, okay, great, yeah, let's give them an audition. But if that first line is not in tune and doesn't sound good, then I'm kind of going, and sometimes I don't have time to listen past that. So, and sometimes, most of the time I do, honestly. Some of them are so good, I just hear one line and go, yeah, that's great. Or some of them are so far not what we would be looking for in the first line. That's also a no. But then a lot of them fall in the middle. I'll be like, then I might fast forward to a high note, see how that goes. Maybe I start another piece and see if the same issue is there in the second piece. So it's really, really important when you can't control what they're listening to first. The first line of every piece should be in tune and sound good.
Awesome.
Does that answer the question? I hope that answers.
No, it definitely more than answers my question. Thank you.
Great.
That's excellent advice, Lynn. Thank you. Any other questions from anyone? All right. Do you have any last words for us, Lynn?
Not really. I have to shamelessly plug my book one more time. I have both The Singer's Ego and The Teacher's Ego, and then this one's more of a memoir. So yeah.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everybody.
Of course. Thanks everyone for singing. You all sounded amazing. Holly, did you have a question?
No. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
You're so welcome.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you later.
Bye. Thank you, Jessica.
Of course.